if you believe in this country, and if I'm willing to march and have protest marches in the proper manner, I'm not speaking of the draft card burning. I don't believe in that, because I think that the enemy uses it against us. I think they use any discontent that happens in our country is blown all out of proportion over there. We never know about theirs because they have laws that govern that the news shouldn't get out. But to me, it's very simple. This is my country. I don't want to die, you know. But if I've got to die, then I want to die for the country that I was born in, that I live in, that my children will be living in, which is America. Because it's the best country in the world, I think, having traveled around. There's no other country like it. I want to be able to stand on the street corner and say, I don't like that congressman, because that's my right. And that's what America is based on. I want to be able to say to a guy, if you say that one more time, I'll punch you right in the mouth, and the policeman comes along, and if I'm wrong, he says, you go to jail. And if I'm right, he says, you get out of here. You go into jail to the other guy. Because these are all the basic things. I just want the right, and I think the most important thing for every black person to know is that it is not over for them. Stop. We must live in a world of believing that this is America, where from a shoeshine boy, truly now we're getting to the stage where we have Negro mayors and Negroes in Congress and Negroes in the cabinet. I'm sure that the man who sits in the presidential cabinet now, somewhere along the line he was told, you'll never make it because you're a black man. But he's in the presidential cabinet. And what did it was the fact that he prepared himself educationally, and he believed in the country, and he believed in himself. Because in Europe, there's not a black man sitting in any power in France, England, Italy, and no man of color sits there. But in America, where we still have lynchings, unfortunately, which has to be wiped out, as we all know, as all decent people want, we have a black man, and we have many black people sitting there. This is America. And this is where we were born. This is where my stake is. And I will die if I don't want to die, but if I have to, I'd rather die for America than any country in the world. Now, if we don't like that, and if those people, be they black or white, who don't believe that, then they shall never succeed, and they should get out of America.
Well, Sammy, do you think the battle for civil rights has been won now?
Oh, no, I think we're far away from winning it. I would not like to think in terms of winning it either, you know. It's not a fight, really. It's a struggle, perhaps, but never a fight. Because I think all decent Americans on both sides of the color spectrum believe in the dignity of man, which is really the equality of man, dignity, so that you can live with dignity, raise your children with dignity, and the most important thing at this point, I think, as a guy who has 3 kids, who happens to be a Negro, is that to believe, the thing that I'd like to instill in my children, and they're products of a mixed marriage, but nevertheless, to instill in them, and this is their country, they have a stake in it. And they must know that this is the greatest land in the world in terms of opportunity. I have had the good fortune, as I stated earlier when we were sitting talking, of going around the world several times. There is nowhere in the world that neither a black nor a white man can succeed in terms of his profession, in terms of opportunity, as he can in America.